Peace, King and Queens. You are now rocking with the infamous,
Opinionated,
the talkative,
and the cool.
What's good, y'all? What's good? We got a great special guest in the building. About that time too, because we've been
waiting for this one.
Yes, for sure.
Been waiting for this one.
Yeah, you can introduce yourself.
Yo, what's up? It's Ouigi Theodore from the Brooklyn Circus.
Yes,
world famous.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I don't know if you remember, but my first time meeting you was like, I went into your store and I was asking you questions about how did you get like these third parties and stuff like that. And you was telling me trade shows and all that stuff, and you just having conversation. I was like, this guy is really dope, and I was like, this guy, something unique about his style, something unique about the store, something unique about this thing. Then I heard about I looked more into it as like the 100-year plan, and I don't know if you could go into all that. Like, we want everything, you know, because a lot of people, even like, because I wanted to start my own retail as well, but down the line, not right now. But I just want to soak up as much knowledge as I can in order for me to be successful, but not necessarily like in a money way, but just successful in like a longevity way. And there's a lot of people that I know that's going to listen to this that are also creators that want to know, like, how did you get yourself into this? Like, start with your journey.
You know, what's crazy about this is I have so many conversations with people and souls and spirits. Sometimes I don't remember the faces, I don't remember the situations, but I'm always 100% in the room, in the moment, in the conversation. So, love, I'm sure I gave you a lot of love.
You did. Yeah, you did.
For sure. How'd I start, man? I don't even know if I really started, man. I kind of got flung into the clothing business. Initially, I wanted to open up a design firm. And but a buddy of mine convinced me to go into retail, to go into fashion. You know, I had a love for clothing, had an interest in it, of course, since youth. Coming from the streets of Crown Heights, coming from Haiti. But, you know, an interest in selling clothes, I never really had that.
Right.
But it totally worked out, I guess. 16 years later, still in retail, still slinging clothes. And speaking of trade shows, he convinced me to go to a trade show. I had gone to a trade show before just for the sake of, you know, we're talking about FUBU days, FUBU, Sean John, parties, Vegas. It's like, yo, it's where it's at. But because the culture was there. You know, the culture was in clothing.
Right.
We'll talk about where the culture is gone now, you know, a little bit later.
Yes,
but
please,
but, you know, that outlet, music and clothing, music and fashion was where, you know, for us, you know, when you talk about an urban space, that's where the culture was. Yeah. You know, you couldn't run from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, in 2006, we launched the Brooklyn Circus. Actually, prior to that, it was in 2003, I launched a store called One Race. And, and that's how I got into the clothing business for the most part.
Lovely. Wow. So what do you remember your first retail job?
My first retail job, I worked at Aldo.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah,
you worked at Aldo.
You worked at Aldo. I worked at Aldo. Aldo shoes came to America from Canada.
Okay.
So we're talking about 97, 96, 97, around those years. Yeah, I was in college. Buddy of mine was like, yo, you want to get a job at the mall? We get discounts, you know? Yeah, get discounts at other shops in the mall. So, yeah, I think that was my first retail job. But, yeah, I remember vividly Aldo. I worked at Aldo.
What was your most memorable retail then?
Most memorable? You know, I didn't work too much. I didn't work too much in retail.
Oh, you didn't? No?
Nah, not at all.
Did you work for Double RL?
I did not work for Double RL. I
didn't
didn't work for Ralph. I wore a lot of low when I was coming up.
Okay.
For sure, from the 90s, a lot of that. And Brooklyn 90s all the way. So that was my experience. My experience was on the streets and buying and selling and trading clothes. So we were trading clothes before dudes was trading Supreme. You know
Yeah.
Before they were trading kicks.
Wow.
Oh, for sure. So
I think that's the hustle. That hustle was different because even when you look at the guy from Harlem, man. Dapper Dan. Even when you
from Harlem.
Nah, because I'm trying to. Yo, you know when you get a brain fart. When you get a brain fart, of course I know who Dapper Dan is.
For sure.
But I'm saying like even when you look at Dapper Dan, like his hustle was crazy. You know.
Oh, for real.
Your hustle, even like you trading clothes and stuff like that. People don't do that now. Yeah. It's the same thing with music, where it's like people used to give out CDs. Even speak about Nipsey Hussle, used to give out CDs to the people and stuff like that. You don't do that now. It's like the hustle's
Master
like
P
used to do that. Yeah, Master P definitely used to do that. Yeah,
I don't think you have to. Like the
but
the barriers of entry to get into any industry is like it's been broken down for real.
Right.
You don't have to like really hustle like that today.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
The hustle. I mean, Nipsey. You know, and may you rest in power.
For sure.
Nipsey for sure is a representation of the fact that the hustle is still necessary.
100%.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
people looked at it. I mean, people are looking at his life and his legacy after. You know, like, oh, he did all that. No, because he was hustling. And hustling is not necessarily a negative term. Hustling is a term that we use in the streets, a term that we use in the urban community.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, to work hard. You know, to really persevere. And the hustle is still necessary.
For sure.
For sure.
It's still very necessary. Not in the way that it was back then.
Yeah.
But in a new form. But it's still necessary, and Nipsey for sure has shown that. And I think some of us have lost that because we think you can kind of sit back and be cool about shit. You know,
And that's not the way to go.
That's not
Nah.
the way to go.
Nah. Yeah. So like, I see what you're saying. Like, it's probably a lot more outlets.
For sure.
That's what you're saying. But I feel like if you don't put the work or the effort into it,
Oh yeah, no, you're not.
like, you know, you gotta drive a little bit. Like, you gotta like, cause I could create a shirt and stuff like that, but I gotta push it hard.
Yeah.
I probably gotta give some out a little bit out for free, maybe to like influencers and stuff like that, or like hand it out. So just like for people to see, like,
To
look,
build up the rapport with people and just have
Yeah.
your name out there.
exactly.
Sure. Being
Yeah.
here on a Saturday morning after 16 years in the business, that's a hustle.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Coming through because, you know, I mean, you guys are the future. We are
Thank you.
both, you know, putting our heads and minds together, the OGs and, you know,
Yeah.
the next generation. But I still have to hustle. I still have to figure out what you guys are doing. I still have to figure out what I've done in the past that I can do better in the future. How do I support you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, so it's still a hustle.
For
You know,
sure.
I'm up Saturday mornings like, you know, I'm out for a Supreme drop or something. You know,
Right.
in the morning. Yeah.
My first introduction to you was when Hot introduced me to the BK Love experience.
Oh wow, that's so.
So that was
recent.
my first time going.
Nice.
He was like, "Get dressed. We going somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where. Just get dressed. Meet me on Atlantic." So I'm like, "Get dressed. Meet you on Atlantic. Okay, whatever." So we went walking, we talking, and we come to your store, and just walking into the store alone, like your presence, like you didn't know us, but you greeted us, you know, and that was like a welcoming feeling. And then being in a room with so many Black positive vibes, it was just like a beautiful experience. What made you start the BK Love experience? Like, how did you go about starting that?
The BK Love experience is I mean, we started the BK Love experience. I mean, people think that it's just about the music, but it's design, it's culture, it's poetry, it's everything that I think that I personally have a love for, you know. And so the music aspect of it, we started it because we wanted to take people off the internet. You know, I get DMs, we get messages, and you know, comments online. And for me, I wanted to hear these things in person. You know, it was important for me to see those faces, and we're in this room because of that.
Yeah,
Right.
right,
You know,
exactly.
so it's I believe in the power of the physical and the spiritual, and all of it happens in person. There's a disconnect. There is a connection that happens online, but there's additional work that needs to be done in person. And as human beings, I don't think we can replace that as of yet. You know, and so the BK Love experience started with a dinner series. Then we did an outdoor series, which is like my roots of reggae music and live music outdoors. We did that. We did and then we followed up with the one that you guys have been attending, which is the in-store live with IT band and all the musicians and so on and so forth. But we wanted people to connect in person because there's an energy, and there's something that transfers from person to person when
For
you
sure.
are in person.
For sure.
Right.
Dapping, hugging, you know, greeting. I mean, just that simple.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely felt that energy. Same as her. I felt that energy, and I was like, this is special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whenever you could get like a gathering, because you don't see that too much,
No.
especially in the Black community, or Black and brown community. You don't see that like that gathering where everybody could come together and network and everybody show love. You know, especially living in New York, because it's different. It's different in different states. Like we hear about Atlanta, a lot of them are like real close knit. Like a lot of the musicians, a lot of the artists, a lot of the creators are all together. But in New York, it's a little difficult for people to come together and just show information, like share information and I guess network. Yeah. Can you explain? Because I know it's like a lot of people like get into the beauty of like what you are, like what you doing now. But what's the struggle? Like, can you explain the struggle?
Struggles every day.
Every day, even now, it's still struggle.
Now, absolutely. I mean, because you got to think of it. We've been in business for 13 years as the Brooklyn Circus, 16 in retail, but I have a 100-year plan, which means that, you know, I have so much more to do. You know, I mean, the biggest struggle right now is to really look back at what we've done and decide what we're going to move forward with. You know, another big struggle is funding. You know, I've funded this business and spent millions of dollars out of pocket to fund this business.
Wow.
And sometimes I look back at it and I'm like, oh, we're still in the same place. And it's like, nah, actually you're not. You know what I mean? The roots run so deep because, you know, I got to a point where I realized that we didn't want the Brooklyn Circus to be bigger. We wanted it to be better.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And there's a big difference in that, you know, because we've turned down a lot of deals, a lot of $1 million deals, you know, quite a few opportunities. And again, they weren't the opportunities that we could have entertained simply because we want the Brooklyn Circus to be better and not necessarily bigger. The next stage is for us to take the show on the road. You know, we've had the San Francisco store, we've had a partnership in Japan, we partnered with Sir and Madam in Chicago, so we've done Sweden, we've done many countries, but right now the BK Love experience plus the Brooklyn Circus plus all of the things that we've done in the past, we're going to streamline things and really take the show on the road. And be able to do, you know, this podcast, take you guys on the road with us, take all of the partners and anyone that we've worked with that we feel this energy, and take this on the road. Like you're saying, Atlanta, let's go see what Atlanta's doing. Let's go see what, you know, Milwaukee's doing, Texas, and really, because there are beautiful black people and beautiful brown people and beautiful white people, to say the least, that are out there and that are waiting for us, you know, to come into their towns versus sitting on Bergen and Evans. It's a luxury to be able to go to Bergen and Evans and experience that firsthand.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So we're going on the road with it.
I think that's one of the most important things for like any creative to understand is when you have something that you're invested in, the balance of being bigger or better is like it could be difficult because like you putting your all into this one thing, right? And it's like you want everybody to be access to it as much as possible. But, you know, like, when do you come to the point where, like, I could get all this money, but am I compromising myself? Am I compromising, like, what I believe in? It's like we said, like, a few weeks ago, like, when people was going to Super Bowl, but they was still in support of Kaepernick. It's like when your bag weighs more than your belief, it's like, what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's difficult because, like, somebody could come to us right now and be like, yo, we going to throw all this money at you, put you on TV, this and a third. And, like, the position that we're all in now, like we might take it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but at the same time, if I gotta compromise who I am to be on TV and be that image for TV, I'm not taking it.
What do you want us to do? Because if you're gonna try to change this up, then I don't know if I want to do it for real.
For sure.
And most times when they want to take you bigger, they want to silence you or change you.
Right.
And I refuse to be silent.
Exactly.
Refuse.
You know that.
Yeah.
It's too much injustice going on with black and brown people for me to feel like I have to be quiet to be rich. That's not happening.
I'll tell you another struggle in the community is to get other cats to understand. You know, everyone wants to be a part of. Everyone wants to be either in the limelight, be with the movement, get down. Yo, son, why you ain't put me on?
True.
Word. All right, cool, you're on. You know, oh, we have to show up for this particular thing on Saturday at this time. Oh, I'm not sure about that. Are we getting paid? Are we this? And then, oh, I want more. You know, I mean, when it really comes down to it, one of the big challenges is to get folks to understand that, you know, even 16 years in the game, you're going to still have to do certain things for free. You're going to still have to do, you know, give away goods and product. And, you know, I mean, it's a constant hustle and struggle. Yeah. You know, I think it gets a little harder when you reach a certain point because you have a legacy to uphold. You have a history to maintain. You know, and finding good help is still kind of hard. It's still a struggle to find people that really get it. You know, for example, you can hire someone that you don't necessarily have to tell them to read certain blogs and read certain things and listen to certain podcasts. Then you hire another guy and you got to tell him to research. You got to tell him to read. He'll show up on time. He's there on time and he leaves on time. Versus you need him to show up before time and leave after time. You know? Just things that, I mean, so it's always a struggle. Living is a struggle.
Right.
You know? For sure, yeah.
So. Right, definitely. Let's talk about the origin of the name BK Circus. How did you come up with that?
The Brooklyn Circus. Brooklyn is a circus. I saw it as such. I'm a big fan of, you know, laughter, love, and life, and the circus is that, and pain. You know, I'm as entertained as interested in life's joys as I am in life's struggles and pains. And so the circus itself, the tent, you know, represented all of that. You know, deformities and normalities, and the circus absolutely presented a platform for me to do all of that and to express all of that. I'm as interested in traveling and meeting people as I am interested in the mass incarceration of black bodies.
Wow.
You know, and that's struggle and that's pain.
For sure.
You know, so all of that, the circus gave me the platform to do all of that and dress it up and mask it into all these beautiful things. And then sometimes you might get to the sideshow aspect of things and see things that are odd and weird. And how weird are they? Is it that we're not exposed to enough to think that something's weird? You know, there's a new Facebook page that I'm sort of hooked on called Born Different.
Okay.
Out of the UK, and it's about people with abnormalities. You know, dude with a 44-pound arm living in India. You know what I mean? Man born with no legs, no arms, navigating life, married with 4 kids.
Wow.
You know, shit like that.
Wow.
Some things like that. I love Humans of New York. I love
Humans of New York.
Yeah, I love that.
That's deep.
And I love hypebeast.
Right.
And so I love First Dibs, furniture, mid-century. I mean, it's a combination of contradictions and things. I love NPR. So it's all these things that come together, that come together to create the circus and the Brooklyn Circus. Brooklyn for me represented that, and Brooklyn as a circus gave me the opportunity to do all of these things.
I love that.
That's really deep.
I love that.
That's really deep because that does make sense.
Yeah,
and I think people like want like the beauty in things in life all the time, but I think it's beauty in the struggle. You know, like the struggle makes you become a better person. I think,
and appreciative to when the good happens.
For sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah,
that just got me stuck.
Yeah, because I didn't think it was.
That's a Brooklyn.
I didn't think it was like that. Yeah.
That's all of it for sure is. It's exactly that.
Okay, so tell us, what do fashion mean to you? Like, what is fashion?
Fashion is very surfacey in my opinion. I mean, the fashion industry, I love the fashion industry because I've met so many amazing people, and I'm still heavily inspired by fashion, but I am mostly inspired by people, by women, and just people in general, life struggles. But fashion, again, we're all, I mean, especially coming from where we come from, we're all fashionable.
Yeah,
but not everybody is stylish. Not everybody has style.
Yeah, that I always tell like it's a difference. It's a whole huge difference.
Yeah, it's definitely a difference.
You know, I meet people all the time. They're like, man, I want to start a line. I want to do this, and I love fashion. I'm like, me too. And then what? You know what I mean?
Right. It has to be more into it.
Absolutely. And style for me is more important. If I had to choose between style and fashion, I would absolutely choose style.
Same.
You know, because it happens every day. It's on the streets. We overlook it. There's so much of it, and so much. I mean, there's not a lot of good style on the streets, but there's good opportunities to see style on the streets. So many great opportunities to see style on the streets. And
what you mean by that?
Meaning that, you know, it's the everyday person.
Okay.
I am most inspired by the everyday person. You know, I will go on Vogue. I'll go on all the sites and all the blogs. I'll flip all the magazines and see what's happening out there on the runways of Paris and London and Japan and here in America. But, you know, I'm most inspired by everyday people. Like, I walk down the streets and I'm, you know, with my notebook, just jotting down notes or putting notes in my phone, just seeing everyday people. And I'll go to shows, whether it be Paris or Japan or here, and I see beautiful things, but I'm not necessarily, you know,
inspired,
jotting down notes and seeing that as like, holy shit, it's dope. It's really good stuff.
Yeah.
But on the streets, the things that you see from the most, and I say average because none of us are above or below, but, you know, just from everyday people, people that are struggling hard more than us. You know what I mean? Homeless folks and just a Spanish lady on, you know, on 148th or whatever, you know. So for me, it's definitely about style, and style is personal. Fashion is career. Fashion, and people say it's a way of life, but for me, style is more personal, and that's a lot more meaningful to me because it translates into, you know, how I live and how I take care of myself, how I take care of the people that I love, you know, what I put in my body, you know. What else do I want to design? You know, the museums and the galleries that I visit. All of that is style. Ultimately dictates or shapes my style, or, you know, lays out what my style is about. But fashion is fashion.
I agree with that, 100%.
So
I agree with that because, I always tell her, I was like, yo, style must be so hard to come by because you see like a lot of like, just like a bad, I guess, like put together, like someone like would come and it just like look not presentable.
sure.
Yeah, and it's just like, what happened in life for you? Because you don't have to be. I thrift shop a lot.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure,
me
sure.
So I spend like $30, so I'll have like 6 items.
So you're shaping your style in a sense because there's a lot of research that goes into that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of research that goes into fashion if you're in the fashion industry.
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
But for the most part, folks that are out here and they're like, yo, I love fashion and I'm into fashion.
Yeah.
Folks tell you, I'm into fashion. I'm like, word.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Right.
And then when you really try to, and I've had friends like, yo, Ouigi, I'm into fashion, man. What do you think I should do? It's like, yo, what stores? And I'm like, yo, you should actually start researching. Like research. What do you mean? The history of it. Dig into the history of fashion, art history, and textiles, and that. And they're like, "Oh, come on, dude. Yeah, you on that."
They don't want to put the work in.
They don't want to put the work in
Yeah.
to really understand that. Like who's your favorite designer, or who are you into, or not even just designers. Like, is there anyone in your family or anyone around you that you're inspired by?
Yeah.
Right.
What are you inspired by, and so on and so forth. They're like, "Oh man, just put me on to that." Da, da, da. And I'm like, "Nah, you should actually do the work and do the research."
Yeah.
Because that in and of itself is ultimately what shapes your style.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell them to research furniture and go to museums, go to galleries, and like, oh, come on, dude, man, you a fly dude. You don't even do that
Yeah, yeah.
yourself. And I'm
Right.
like, actually, I do.
You do, right? Yeah.
Because a lot of people think fashion or being stylish mean buying name brands and just slapping it all over themselves.
100%.
Like I got a
On trend.
Supreme this, or I got a Gucci this,
Sure,
and I got it
sure,
like
sure.
that doesn't. Because I feel like I could see somebody with a whole Target outfit on
Oh,
that look way
absolutely.
better than the person with a
Without
whole
a doubt.
Gucci suit on.
Without
You
a
get what
doubt.
I'm saying?
Without a doubt.
It's all in how you put yourself together.
And there's nothing wrong with people that do buy Supreme or
No,
or
it's
Gucci.
not.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, but it's the way you put it together. Like, don't just put it on and just be like fly.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
like I got the most expensive outfit on. You say you went to college.
Sure.
Did you? He said sure.
Sure.
Did you graduate?
He asked a brother to graduate. Yeah. I went to Stony Brook. I graduated from Stony Brook and then went to FIT.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Okay.
for sure,
Wow.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I went to
He
college
asked a
too.
brother, like, I went to college.
I went to college too. I didn't finish.
So did I.
So did I.
Yeah,
Yeah, so did him. So like, we both went for the same thing, fashion merchandising.
merchandising, yeah.
We both. So I learned a lot about fashion, textiles, and other stuff like that. I just realized, like in my head, that this route isn't for me.
Yeah.
Like I love fashion, which everybody says, right? Like what you just said.
He one of those.
Yeah, one of those, right? One of those.
I was that person too.
Right. Like we both love fashion. We was in high school and stuff like that. Me and him both went to the same high school. We love
Where'd
fashion.
you guys go to school?
George Westinghouse in downtown
Westinghouse,
Brooklyn.
Westinghouse.
Yeah, downtown. Yeah.
Westinghouse. They
Yeah.
said George Westinghouse.
Right.
Nah, no,
People just
West-
know it as Westinghouse.
Like, yo, Westinghouse.
Yeah, Westinghouse.
Down the block. That's
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Sure.
Because not a lot of people know about Westinghouse.
Westinghouse.
Yeah, every time I tell people Westinghouse, like, what is that? Like,
I went to Brooklyn Tech, so Westinghouse.
oh, it's like right there. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
For sure. Surrounded by all that.
So like, yeah, we love fashion. It's like, you know what? Whatever. Like, let's just go to school.
just do it.
Let's just do whatever. He went to LIM, which was a good fashion
There we
school.
go.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
I went to a bum ass shit.
Oh, Lord.
Like Berkeley.
Don't call it out. I'm a fool.
You called out his school. Why you
Don't call my don't call my college.
Berkeley has an okay fashion program though. It's not.
No.
It's not terrible. It's not bad.
No, it had
pretty good.
No, yeah, it had great professors. It had like professors that was like designers for Gucci and things of that nature, like the high end.
Sure.
It was great to learn a lot of things.
Any professors from Brooklyn Circus?
Nah.
But I did speak at LIM
Oh, you did?
years ago. Yeah.
Oh,
for
wow.
sure, for sure. Like the 54th Street campus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 50s, yeah.
Oh man.
For sure.
LIM was a good college, but it was too expensive. I was just not about to
No,
do
this
that.
is very expensive.
Yeah, but I loved learning a lot about textiles. I love learning a lot about I guess how to sell clothes. Oh, that's at a higher price point, and it was good, but it just wasn't like, I guess, my passion.
Yeah.
Like I loved it, but it wasn't my passion. My passion is really music. So that's what I do.
Same.
Like I love music. I produce music, and that's my route.
But do you? I mean, I'll let you make your point, but I'll tell you why though.
Why?
I'll tell you why. It's because that's what's in our community.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
The individuals that you're seeing, you know, you're seeing nothing but images of and role models of musicians.
True.
Rap music. You take rap music out the formula, you take rap music out the community, how many of us would be interested in going into the music industry? Not many. Shit's kind of boring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sitting in the studio and making music or learning to read music and write music. Music was boring in a sense to our community prior to, the business of music was boring prior to hip hop music.
For sure.
With the introduction of hip hop music, that shit became exciting.
Yeah.
There are videos, there are, of course, you got the videos, you've got the music itself, you've got the trips, whether it be, you know, the Miami, Cancun culture, you've got all of that. And then the club.
Yeah.
After the club is the oh shit, it's all Kelly, but what I'm saying is, you know, it's the culture, the culture of music, what hip-hop brought to music was a culture, and it brought us into the music industry. And that's why you're interested. Now, when you think about the clothing industry, how many role models do we really have?
Not that many.
Not that many.
Not that
so
many.
Fashion from the outside is going to be interesting because you can show up in the hood, show up at the barbershop with a dope shirt on. You stay fly. Say, what up?
Yeah.
Cool. But then the business of fashion is no longer exciting.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Sean John Fubu, I spoke to Maurice Maloney a couple of days ago. Maurice, Carl Kanai, you know, all these guys, Jay and all these guys, they're no longer in existence.
Yeah,
Jay's
true.
making music. He's sticking to music. Dame is somewhere in space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Carl Kanai is still selling clothing, but none of us are really, you know, unless you're nostalgic and you're on that 90s shit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
The young white girls are probably doing that more than us, the
Right.
Japanese dudes. So that's why so we have to now take on the challenge of putting these role models in front of the kids. What else? It's music. You meet another kid from our neighborhoods, and what music? Basketball?
Or ball.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're seeing these role models.
Yeah, that's what we see. Yeah.
We're seeing
I agree.
these role models.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, and that's why we got to change the lane. I get what you're saying, 100%, and that's why I respect what you're doing so much.
Sure.
You know, because we need that.
Sure.
And we need that, especially I think in the hood.
Sure.
Not just
out there. Yeah, that's why I stayed on Bergen and Evans. That's why I continue to push. That's why I created the BK Love experience to get folks to come in person to see, because I've had dudes come in the store and they're like, yo, dude, you're the only, for me, my example of that prior to FUBU, prior to Carcanine and Cross Colors was Spike Lee. You know, I went to Brooklyn Tech and Spike had a store right across the street called Spike's Joint.
I know that.
You know, yeah, and he was making caps. He's making the dope caps that we're making now. He's making caps for his movies. He was selling merch.
Oh, those Brooklyn
All
cats.
that. 40 Acres and a Mule.
Right.
He was selling merch, you know, so that stuff was dope because it was black, it was HBCU, it was all of the things, you know, that we all represent now. And Spike was doing that. 40 Acres and a Mule, Sticks and Stones, right in the neighborhood, in Fort Greene. And so for me, that was the example, you know. So we went from Spike's Joint to the Polo Mansion, you know, to downtown Brooklyn, of course, buying kicks and so on and so forth. But we that was the example. But now we don't necessarily have these examples, and Ouigi, I have to be that example to stay in the streets and in the hood, because if not, you know, God bless ASAP Rocky for wanting to be on the front rows in Paris, but he fucked the game up.
OD.
ASAP fucked the game up. Dudes don't want to wear urban shit anymore.
No, they don't.
Dudes don't want to wear black designers.
He want to wear Calvin Klein and shit.
Yep.
Or Balenciaga or whatever.
For real, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
So.
I agree. I find that to be a major issue, and just I just hope it changes. You know, I know you're making that lane. I just want to see a lot more people and stuff like that.
Sure.
And like I said, down the line, I also want to have my own retail. I know my boy also wants to have his own retail. He already got the business plan marked up and all that. You know, and it's I could tell you know that it's gonna be better days in the future as far as especially for black and brown, where we don't always just look for to music or basketball or football and stuff like that. We look to different things inside the art, because I think the art is going to save us most of all.
Sure. So
everything creative.
It's not destroying, or you know, we don't frown on music or basketball or the other career options that, you know, are very limited, you know, in our community or presented in our community. We now want to add a new industry, and when you think about the clothing industry, You know, it's an industry that needs our presence. We need to carve our space. The same way we came and took our space and carved our space in music.
Yeah.
We did the same in basketball.
Yep.
We did the same thing in football, in other sports. But now it's time for us to carve our space in the clothing industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We used to go to trade shows, and it was like, oh, wow. You know, Sean John had the $1 million booths in Magic, and you'd walk in, and you're like, oh, everybody was there.
Yeah.
Now you go to trade shows, and we're missing.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
not there.
For sure.
We're not there. And
How you
that's
feel
what-
about Virgil then?
Virgil?
I
I
think
You was about to ask that?
Yeah.
I think Virgil's playing the European game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Virgil's playing the European game. You know, shout to him in Chicago and RSVP in the store and all that. But I think he's playing the European game. He's playing the game that ASAP Rocky was playing. You know what I mean? They're all those guys, and that's why everyone's wearing fucking European brands.
Yeah, right.
I haven't seen dudes wear that much European brands in my life. You know, folks are only. I mean, listen to hip hop music. It's a big commercial for 100% European brands or 99%. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shane Oliver, you know, ASAP started rocking with Shane, you know, in the beginning, and they had a fallout and there were some things. But now, I mean, these guys went completely. Listen to hip hop music. It's a big commercial for pure European.
Like
brands.
they just talk about Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, I won't say the names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all about that, you know. And there are designers, the Strivers Row. There's, you know, Paya Moss. You know, Kirby. You know, I mean, there's of course Public School. There's Dow E and Max.
Dope too.
You know, there's so many dope brands. Warrior Boswell's making suits for dudes out in you know, in LA for the ball players, and he's got a brand now, of course, a line of just casual, ready to wear stuff. There's so many dope designers, but you know, folks are talking about what's in. You know what I mean? There was a song with a designer's name. The whole song was a designer's name. Versace, like
Yeah.
you know, Gucci Gang,
Yeah.
Oh, guys, are you kidding me? I mean, this shit is obvious.
Yeah.
But we lack ingenuity. We lack the ability to thrive through the struggle, and also just the ability to take risk. Like as a rapper, you think like, if I don't say these things, and if I don't say I'm wearing a Louis belt, then the bars ain't tight. It's not right. It's not.
It don't hit the
I don't look fly because I'm not naming these things. And the crazy part about it, all the names that they naming don't want our color in their clothing.
I mean, you know, I'm sure they.
Which is like so bizarre to me.
He says the whole conversation.
Other topic.
I was going to ask that though. Like, do you still think that it's important for black designers to like find themselves in those high end brands though? Because it seemed like for every week, another high end brand was like putting out some racially charged shit that disrespected us. So like, do you think that if it was more of us in those rooms, these things wouldn't happen? Like, do we need our voices in those meetings?
You know, it really depends on, you know, I mean, the black body is not what we need in the room. We need the voices, you know, because you can put people in those rooms. I've seen people in those rooms, and for me, I mean, you can look at my history. When I'm in the room, I'm in the room. You know what I mean? Our voice is in the room. Our perspective is in the room. You know, but you do. I mean, you can walk into these businesses and you'll see the bodies. But if they're bodies that are concerned with saving their jobs, this is the opportunity. I have a Cornell degree, or I have a degree from, you know, Parsons, and blah, 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 blah. And you're thinking about, I got to do this for me. I'm trying to buy this. I'm trying to move up in life, and so on and so forth. Now, taking the risk or deciding to make a statement or to say something that might be, you know, that might come across as, you know, too aggressive, you lose your job.
Yeah.
Folks don't want to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the folks that are there. I think it's us coming from the outside in. You know, because when you think about hip hop music, like, did hip hop music come into the conversation and come in the room and say, "Hey, we need more of us in the room"?
Nah, they came in. They came aggressive.
We came in and did what we have to do. You know,
Right.
this is not a. I don't think this conversation of diversity and inclusion is really where it needs to be. I mean, of course, you can have the conversations, but at the end of the day, you just got to go in and do what you do and take what you take. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Allen Iverson came and changed the NBA.
He did.
You know, he didn't ask for it. He didn't say, "Hey, you know, can I, may I please?" You know, I mean, with all due respect, you know, but you got to come in and take the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when I say take, we're not talking about sticking folks up.
No.
We're talking about, you know, listen.
Coming aggressive.
Coming aggressive.
Standing 10 toes down.
10 toes down.
Yeah.
So, and that's really what it boils down to. When we came in the industry, when I looked, you know, when I came into the industry, I went to a trade show. My buddy invited me to a trade show. I looked around and I was like, oh, that's what they're doing? Okay. Oh, we can do that? That's nothing. And, we came in. I didn't say, hey, can I please do this? And may I please? No, we just came and we did.
Right.
And some dudes were hurt. Some dudes were like, yo, you should have came to us first. And blah, blah. I'm like, yo, listen, dude, I'm not coming to you, dude. Because when I did come to you, you told me I'll see you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With all due respect. So, we got to come in and be very conscious of what we wear. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And turn that into business. But
I think I 100% agree. I feel like I've been always fighting with people like, yo, stop supporting these brands that don't show love to us, And I feel like I feel like black people are like, black and brown, period. I just feel like we put too much, we forgive too easily, and then we like put too much love to the oppressors.
Yeah. But think about it this way, right? I don't think it's about an issue of supporting. You know what I mean? Because I don't think we necessarily want to support these brands. We are supporting something that's inside of us, or a void that's inside of us that finds it to be, that you think is necessary to, buy a brand or support this brand, or if I don't wear this particular thing to this party or to this show, then I'm not official.
Yeah,
so it's not a support thing. You're not necessarily supporting these brands for that. There's something inside of you,
that validation.
That validation. There's something inside of you. So we have to look internally, of course, look inside of ourselves and look in our community. I come from the days where dudes would check your collar like, yo, what's that? Yo, what are you wearing? Let me see that lip. Yo, what is that? That's real? Like
they definitely did that growing up too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And so why? When I was coming up, I felt that I had to be, low down from head to toe.
Same.
Why?
Right.
When I walked into the Ralph Lauren or the Polo store or the Polo Mansion, there was a feeling of discomfort. I felt that I knew I didn't belong.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it wasn't an issue. I was supporting Ralph. Fuck out of here. I'm not supporting Ralph. I'm supporting this void, supporting this thing that was inside of me that I felt needed to be fed.
Right.
And so we have to look internally. So when we do the protests and all that shit is bullshit. Of course, it's not going to last because that's not why you do it.
Right.
You don't do it because you're supporting. And so when they say these things, for the most part, that stuff looms and I'm really angry at. You're really not that angry because the shoes are there and you're going to wear the shoes because there's something that, it gives you these wings that you think you can fly with.
Where do you think that void came from?
Oh, there's a lot of pain in our community, man. There's a lot of pain in our community. We need to be validated. We're not being heard enough. We're not being seen enough. It's it's all of it. We wear the logos. We wear things. I got to a point in my life where it was like, okay, I'm only going to align myself with logos that represent what I ultimately want to be and where I want to go.
Okay.
Versus logos that, the next dude can see and be like, oh, shit, you got to do
Yeah,
you stay official. Nah, it's just corny to me now.
Yeah.
It has to be, a lot more. And it's not corny if I see someone else doing it, but for me it is. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm very conscious of clashing and logos on top of logos and what logos mean and da-da-da-da-da, it's so important. So important. So
yeah, because I feel like a lot of people do that too, like you said, to be validated and also to feel like you said, seen. But instead of like trying to be recognized by these brands or be recognized as being cool, make your own lane. Like I feel like everybody want to look like carbon copies instead of wanting to stand out and be themselves. And I feel like that comes with style too. Like don't look like everybody else. Don't buy what the mannequin have on to look cool. Like just do your own thing. It's so many times people be like, oh, she's even in high school. I never like wearing what people was wearing. And my sister put that in me. Like you don't have to look like everybody else. I used to wear like buns with the Chinese sticks in it. Everybody's like, oh, that looks stupid. Like why you got your hair like that? But then it became a thing. Everybody started to doing it. Then I was in like a phase where I used to wear like chain belts and stuff like that. It was like, what is like, you a white person? Why you got that on? Then it became a thing, and then everybody started doing it. So it's like things that people play you for or try to joke on you about, they wind up wanting to join because they don't have their mind for themselves. They see what look good, and then they just want to join it and just like join the wave, which is corny as hell. Like be yourself.
Yeah, Hakeem and I and a few of us experienced that back in high school too, when our little circle was just going to Soho like every day after school, right?
Just to get influenced.
Just get influenced. You feel me? Like and then. I would say we was like some of the most stylish people in our high school.
I would say I thought I was gonna win best dress, but I didn't.
They was hating.
It is what it is.
But none of us won best dress.
Right?
I lost by one vote.
Crazy.
Who won though? Who won?
My buddy Patrick. Patrick is a
All right,
doctor.
so
now.
it's still.
That's the homie. That's the homie. He
still a
gets
good
that,
dressed
but
guy,
he'll
though.
always hear the story. But he's a doctor now.
I lost to someone that dresses like everyone else. It's because he had the flies kicks, I guess, like the Jordans.
I remember who won.
You remember who won,
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Like it was. I was like, it is what it is. But like we started like, I remember when skinny jeans was like a problem. They're like, well, you got skinny jeans on? What are you?
Yeah.
You know, they call you the names. You know what? I can't say it here. So the F.
Yeah.
They'll call you the names. We'll get like, you know what I mean? I'm
They
like,
thought we was weird.
yeah, we wore Palladiums first and
Blazers.
stuff like, Blazers. We wear Blazers.
Nobody's wearing
I'm like,
Blazers.
and I'm like, yo, like, and then now, like, you see everybody, like, the guys that clown us for wearing skinny jeans, they wearing skinny jeans now and
They
stuff
sure
like
do.
that. I'm like, like, why? I don't understand why we have to attack each other. Like, you are who you are, right? And then that's just what it is. Like, whatever you wearing is whatever you wearing. And like that's another thing where it comes in with style. Like if you just got style and you put that shit together well, who give a fuck what you wearing at the end of the day? You feel what I'm saying?
But oftentimes, I mean, you got to think about it when you think about the emotional and the psychological effect of that. You know, when you come out your house and you think you're fly, and someone's like, "Aha, what are you wearing?" You know, psychologically, that can be. You know, we
can
all
hurt.
have stories. Yeah, it can totally hurt. You know, we all have stories of not winning best dressed. You know, that's still in your
Yeah,
head.
that's
so
still- that's
a
definitely still-
psychological scar. You know what I'm saying? Because you think you're on fire.
I thought
And
I
it's-
was all right. I thought I
so,
was good.
so these are all things, you know, because in our hood, we again want to be heard.
True.
That's why music is important,
Very
and we want to be seen. That's why basketball is important. That's why, you know, clothing's important, fashion, all these things we want to be seen, and the celebrity culture is important, and we drive that. So it's you really have to look deep into the psychological effects. Because I remember growing up where, you know, in the 90s, like you were odd if you didn't wear Sean John. Carcanine.
I love that.
Like, I mean, you were odd.
I love that.
You know what I mean? And then even earlier than that, I was in the 9th grade, and if you didn't wear an Africa piece or Malcolm X leather
Love
braided
that.
piece, you know what I mean? It was like you X-Clan was the
Right.
thing, you know, Das Effects and all the music was rocking, and it was like you were odd.
Right.
But now, if you're not wearing something European,
Yeah.
you're odd.
I'm trying to
on the
figure out-
streets, like that's
Where did we go wrong though?
ASAP Rocky.
Yeah. I feel like you got something against that
I
man.
ain't got nothing. I fucks with ASAP Rocky. You know, I mean, I like the music. I like what he represents.
Yeah.
I like, you know, Ferg. I like what they represent in the sense of musically. But from a fashion perspective, nah, dude. I mean, they gave all the power to the European brands, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there is something wrong with that. Actually,
No, 100%.
There's something-
100%.
There's some all the power. Share the power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If rappers, if, you know, 2 Chainz and all these dudes were singing, you know, if half the bars were about, you know, brands that come from the neighborhoods they come from, and the other half was about, you know, all these other brands,
Right.
fellas.
Right.
You know what I mean? But 100%,
100%.
99% of the music, the commercials are about this stuff. I mean, these guys are sitting in their towers and they're like, oh, yeah, go with hip hop.
Go ahead.
hip hop. You know what I mean?
They don't know the culture, understand it at
They
all.
don't need to.
Right.
They don't have
You
to. You're
give
doing the
it-
job
give
for
it
them.
for free.
Giving it away for free.
For free.
They don't have to.
That's
And
what we do
my
a lot, too.
And that's my challenge when I walk into a meeting. You know, when I walk in a room, I represent what I represent. And so when I walk in the room, the challenge is to know that if I ask, I'm very expensive. You know what I mean? I'm very expensive because, you know, from a consultant perspective, because I know the value of what we do. So when I walk in the room, they're like, okay, why should we pay him this amount of money when we can get it for free from someone on Instagram, when we can get it, you know, cats that are just happy to be in the room. The rappers ain't cheap, but the community, there's just so much out there that we're giving away for free. And sometimes rappers do give it away for free. I mean, it's a big commercial. It's a big commercial. Why are they paying you to do this stuff, you know? And then we get mad when they say something like, yo, I'm not going to say this in my song. Oh, come on, dude. Are you serious? It took that?
I'm trying to figure out the
This
way.
is America.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to figure out, but like where did we go from like the 90s to like the early, probably like 2006, when we started just like doing like a lot of like European brands. I'm trying to figure out like how we went from Spike Lee, you know, to his classic joints, you know, where all that Malcolm X and stuff he was talking about having the Africa, the dashikis and all that stuff, HBCUs.
The dashikis are made in China. I ain't even messing with that.
You don't trust those.
You don't trust those?
China, man.
But it still represented
I like
something though.
Supreme made one. I Supreme made a fucking dashiki. I said 3 times. That's the last time.
Wow.
I even an Obama shirt. That was
yeah, exactly. I'm trying to figure out where we went wrong. Like, where did we where did we stop like putting value into us?
Our culture, like us.
Yeah, exactly. And then put it into like the European brands. It's weird.
Hip hop is a gift and a curse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not necessarily a curse, but hip hop is responsible for a lot
of shit.
For a lot of good shit and a lot of waste.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing with the clothing industry. Clothing industry is responsible for producing, a lot of good things, but producing a lot of waste. You know, and so, but hip hop for sure. You think, look at it. I mean, hip hop drives the culture.
For sure.
It's the music. It's the music, because hip hop fashion. Is there such a thing as hip hop fashion now?
I think it's just fashion.
Yeah, but I don't think it's even hip hop fashion at this point.
I don't think it's
just urban fashion.
I don't think so, because I think
streetwear. There is streetwear, but we're not in it.
Exactly. There was streetwear, but like I feel like
it's still streetwear, but we're not in it.
Exactly.
Streetwear has blended itself into, of course, the mainstream fashion or high fashion, quote unquote, rabbit ears.
Yeah.
And we're not in the conversation.
Not at all. No.
And I'm not crying to be in the conversation. I'm just saying, just be conscious of that, because we're doing what we're doing. Brooklyn Circus is going to do what the Brooklyn Circus does, until the day that I die. But, let's really be honest about that, because we can have these conversations and say, are we really, really, really investing in, shaping the culture? Or is the culture shaping us? And what happens now is, there's consumer culture, commercial culture that's shaping the culture that we created.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't have a certain amount of hits, if it's not, on this person, that person's Instagram and this influencer, it's not valid. Doesn't have value. So we're putting value into that because, we're buying certain brands because of, the perceived value.
All right. So to switch topics, how do you feel? Well, not really switch topics. How do you feel about the status of the culture right now?
I think again, it's just in that answer. The culture goes where we go.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of change coming, and there's a lot of good. I mean, like I said, when you say the culture, what do you mean exactly? I mean, because the word culture has been thrown around. I mean, that's the new.
Yeah, I know. It is. But like culture, like I feel like we create everything. So I'm talking about like, where do you see like black people? Like,
but do we really though?
I think we shape culture. I think we do. I think like everything that we do is either copied, so it may not seem so to like a lot of people. But I feel like everything we do is copied, 100%. And like
I think everything we copy is copied because we're big copiers as well.
Think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, when you think about it, you're living in a Western society, and so you're wearing Western clothes.
Okay.
So ultimately, anything that we built, when you think about, even in urban days, you think about what we built. Russell Simmons built Fat Farm on the shoulders or heavily being inspired by Ralph Lauren.
I did not know that.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And Sean John, the same. Everyone wanted to be Ralph. And ultimately, of course, because when the people got their hands on the product, the people ultimately changed it and made it their own and so on and so forth. So when we're talking about, we create everything, we actually shape things,
Okay.
For example, when you think about streetwear or you think about sneaker culture, we never made sneakers. But we created the culture around sneakers, so we took what they did and shaped it.
Basically,
Timbs,
we made it hot.
We don't own Timbs.
Right.
We don't own Timberland.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we took the Timbs and added our personality to it.
Right.
So now, I think the challenge now is to say, yes, we own, and that's the reason why they can always take it back. That's the reason why we never do ultimately own these things. So now we have to think as inventors to create things that we can say we own, we have the intellectual property to. Because, I mean, as much saggy jeans, the jean itself, we didn't invent.
No.
Timbs, we didn't invent. We didn't invent the do-rag. We didn't invent gold teeth.
The
fitted cap. I mean, we didn't invent any of that stuff. So truth be told, if someone goes back deep into it and says, okay, that is our IP, that's our intellectual property, we're going to take the do-rag back. Sorry, buddy. We're going to take this back, take that.
So what you're saying? All right. So I feel what you're saying. Like we shaped it, basically. We shaped it. We made it seem like it was our thing. I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I get what you're saying.
Sure. So You know, so when Diddy gets online and he's like, yo, we created culture, we did this, and then he's wearing, what was he wearing? Some Montclair. Oh, he's wearing some polo pants. You know, and I'm like, word, Sean. Real Diddy, come on, son. But the reality is, again, when you really think about it, like, what did we, I mean, and we're talking about the last, 50 years.
Right.
Last 50 or 60 years. Hip-hop is 40-something years old. What did we created hip-hop.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the instruments and we used our mouths and but even still, hip-hop is still a product of disco. Hip-hop is a product of another genre of music.
True.
I mean, of course, you can do the work and find that we ultimately did create rock and roll. We created a bunch of other things.
Soul, and stuff like that.
But we allowed that. We let them take that.
100%.
But all of it is on the basis and on the foundation of other things that were built, which is very human. Because, if you're living in society or you're in the world, you are somehow inspired by something.
Right.
You have to build on top of.
Yeah.
But we need to start to think as inventors and think as much away from the norm as possible, and that's hard because that comes with ridicule, that comes with laughter, that comes with not being accepted, and blah blah blah. So it's hard.
I just want to circle back to the Brooklyn Circus. Sure. You have like a reoccurring theme of the black and white stripes. Where do that stem from?
So this is we're working on a collection. We're working on a 4-part collection. The 4-part collection is about, my relationship with a buddy of mine who spent 22 years in jail. The first collection was it's all about freedom and mass incarceration and entrapment of the body and the mind. For part 1 was Criminal Minded, You've Been Blinded, about physical entrapment. Part 2 was Insane in the Membrane, and that's mental entrapment. And part 3, and then part 4. So the stripes in the bulb, stripes of movement, stripes are restriction, bars, jails. So that's what you're seeing in the clothing and this reoccurring theme. It's just more recent into what the Brooklyn Circus is. And this is, more of our social and political statements.
That is so deep.
It's not that deep. It's just
that's deep.
So your friend that spent 22 years in prison, like when he came out, did he explain was there stories?
Oh, for sure. I mean, so the reason why he's inspired, Shane Tate, shout out to Shane. Shane is out here. He's a model as well.
Oh, I seen him. Yes. Exactly. Yeah, light skinned guy. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
So Shane said to me, and I was like, for me, and I watched a lot of Locked Up Raw and all that shit, and for me it was like solitary confinement. As a human, solitary confinement was just like, that's the ultimate. Like, if you want to punish someone,
that's different.
Confine them to a particular space with themselves. Like, that's pure torture.
Yeah, for sure.
And I asked him, and he told me he spent, I think, a period of 6 or 7 months in solitary confinement.
Sheesh,
and I said, dude, like, how'd you deal with that? He was like, you just have to focus. You just have to focus and know that, there is another side. And I was like, what? Nah, dude, how'd you deal with solitary confinement? He was like, well, I'll tell you the truth. I realized that there are more people out here. When I came out after doing the 22-year bid, I realized that there are more people out here in solitary confinement. Exactly. Right. I was like, holy, what? What? And so I dug into myself and realized that, there were things that I was doing, even as... of course, we do things differently. We're the Brooklyn Circus, and we try to push the envelope. And there are times where there were things that I knew that I needed to do differently, but I was scared. And I was like, why aren't you doing this? I don't know how people are going to react to that. And so I confined myself to this particular, and that's why, even with the beard, I had a beard for 12 years, and I was confined to that. I was the bearded man, and it was like, dude, that's the trademark, right? You're never going to cut that off. And I was like, hold on, why not? Yeah, I'll cut it off. And so I got to the point where it was like, I'm getting rid of the beard. And with the same thing with the, with the style or what the Brooklyn Circus was known for. We were known for a particular style. And I was like, nah, I got to break out of that. Yeah. Because it's a circus. And if we're going to do the same thing for 100 years, like, it makes no sense. If we're not going to react to what's happening in society, or we're not going to contribute to what's happening in society, then I'm confined to this brand. And that happened to a lot of brands in America. They were confined to this idea of what the brand was. This is our brand image, and this is what we do. And you're like, no. I'm an artist. I'm a creative.
Got to push the envelope.
I have to push the envelope, and I have to push myself. And I have to be uncomfortable. There are certain times where I do certain things where I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know about this one, Ouigi. You know, it's like, well, that's the thing that you need to do, and so that's what it was about.
I was just speaking to her about that yesterday. Like, you gotta be. I enjoy being uncomfortable because a lot of because when you're uncomfortable, like especially like when your back is up against the wall, I feel like that's a true testament to who you are. Like, you find who you are through that. You know?
I enjoy the growth of discomfort.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I enjoy, like the gym. I love building my, shaping my body out. But being in the gym, I'm like,
that's the thing. Yeah.
I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
This is not fun, but I enjoy the results.
For sure.
I enjoy, for sure. And so you get used to that.
For sure. Yeah, because I feel like starting this podcast was 100% discomfort for me.
Trial and error.
Well, like, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to hear my own voice.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to hear my own voice. I wasn't sure if people want to hear what I would have to say or what we would have to say.
Nah, me too.
You know, I just felt like, I don't know what the hell am I doing. Like, I don't know if people that I know in my circle was going to fuck with this or people that I know on Facebook, Instagram. You know, I was thinking about a lot of bullshit. And I was just like, fuck it. At the end of the day, just do it. It is what it is. If it fails, it fails, but we tried. You know what I mean?
Right.
As long as we put our best foot forward.
Right.
Yeah, that was my thing with the podcast too, is like when we first started, it started off as like, let's just do it, right? And then it became serious after a while. Like, the more we kept getting feedback, the more it got serious. And then I realized, like, we have responsibility in our words. So then I started feeling like, okay, am I shaped for this, though? Like, what I'm saying is important enough to reach people that I'm trying to reach? And that was the battle with me, which is the battle with me now. Like, I get a lot of feedback. Like, a lot of people write to me and be like, oh, you're so inspiring. Or, I love how spiritual you are and stuff like that. But it's like, in ways, I don't really see that. And I even was like explaining to them, like, I don't know if I could do this no more. I don't feel like my words are impactful enough. And they like, what are you talking about? Like, everybody like listens to hear what you got to say. But I'm like, but what am I saying is of importance? Like, is it going to shape or change people's lives? Like, and that's just the battle I have. I don't know if it's just like my...
It is important.
With
the door knockers.
So that's just like the thing, because it's just like, I was just telling him, like...
Nah, it's important. It is. We need more of our voices. We need more of us, publicly. We need more public facing. Yeah. I think a lot of us have these ideas and opinions and things, and of course we struggle with that. But, just build the confidence and understand that we are a voice. We are very necessary, and we have to do it publicly. And that's why I agreed to do this. I was like, yo, these cats show up to the events. It's important for them to be in the space. It's important for me to see you guys in the space, O.T.C crew. It's important to see you guys in the space. And so when you shouted me out, he's like, yo, I want you on the show. I was like, it is important for the public to see us together and to hear us together, versus we're constantly chatting back and forth, behind the screen. It's like, nah, we have to come out publicly because we are up against a lot of things that are, taking up the airwaves and taking up space. So we do, so it's necessary. So keep talking.
Keep talking.
Speak.
Yeah, Bari actually had like a great idea like 2 episodes ago, and I thought it was like
King.
I thought it was. I still think it's like like this is the greatest thing I've ever heard you say. and I knew this man for like 10 years or like whatever.
This is the greatest thing.
No, because he said that we're missing.
What? I was about to say,
all right, well, 2 weeks ago when surrounding Nipsey Hussle's death, I came on here and I was like, I just expressed my frustration that I couldn't turn on the TV and see like BT or Revolt like broadcasting live coverage like around Nipsey Hussle. Like, I turned it on and they were still showing like, old episodes of whatever sitcom or music videos, but I was like, why don't we have like a Sports Center style show where we have anchors and journalists and analysts where like they are live on the scene? Like, I wasn't looking for answers, but I was just like wanting to see that y'all cared enough. You feel me? Like, have somebody out there getting some interviews from people who knew him. I mean, just like give us like an idea of like what the energy is like right now. You know what I mean? Go live so we could know. Because I was like, I didn't always want to be on my phone scrolling through Twitter and Instagram just to see like updates. I feel like we deserve, some live shit, like, and everything, concerts, and then tragic shit that happens, like Nipsey Hussle's death. Like, I didn't feel like we wasn't representing ourselves enough in that front. Like, we got a lot of like bullshit TV. We put on a whole bunch of people from like reality TV and throw drinks in their face and I mean fight and shit. But like when it comes to shit that matters, though, I feel like we're not doing enough. I was like, why is that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and like the networks that supposed to be for us, they wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
You feel me? I was like, wow, like I feel like there should be something like that already.
What networks do you consider
for us?
For us, yeah.
Well, BET's Black Entertainment Television, right? Right. You know what I'm saying? So I went to them first in the name, and I've been had like my frustrations.
Black Entertainment. You know what I mean? It's not Black Education Television.
No, it's not. But it should.
So
but it still should be for us, though. It should still be an outlet for like.
It is. For
no, it's for us. But I'm saying like it should still be an outlet for like us to gain knowledge as well,
but
even though it's entertainment.
See, the thing is, there are layers to us.
Okay.
So if you go to certain neighborhoods, and sometimes we blanket, say black people and brown people. I mean, we're just so layered. There's so. I mean, we're not monolithic. So, there's so much of us. So when you say it's us, like, I mean, the folks that are watching that stuff, it's for us. It's for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, we need more of that. We need, we can't put all the energy into BET and then
Revolt.
put all the energy into Revolt and then put all the energy into Nipsey Hussle. Like, what happens after Nipsey?
Right.
There are dudes, I know dudes in the hood that have been, running barbershops for 25 years and do barbecues every summer for the kids and send kids to school. And I mean, there's just so much of that out there, but we put our energy into this one person.
And that's the point that he's making. Like, we don't know about them. But if we did have like
about them, we know about them. We walk by them every single day.
No, yeah, for sure. But I'm talking about like they don't have the outlet
platform.
Exactly. They don't have the platform.
So let's not look to BT, and speaking of that, we are working on a platform. The Brooklyn Circus is working on a media platform to address this.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
that'd be dope.
Because we can't expect, let's say, for example, Jay-Z to cover everything.
Right. Nah, for sure not. For sure not.
You're not going to say, yo, Jay, you should be singing about, yo, Jay. Nah, you're like, man, I don't listen to Jay. I'm going to listen to, Tupac.
But
I'm going to listen to,
Tidal should
Kendrick.
be that, though, right? Tidal should be the outlet where it's like,
but it's not just one thing.
It's not just one thing.
It's not just one thing.
No, it's not.
I think too often we put so much pressure on one person, one thing, and no. Sometimes people come to me, yo, Ouigi, man, you should do this, that. And I'm like, why don't you do it?
Right.
I'll support you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll share my resources with you.
Yeah.
And then it'll make me better because now I have you focused on whatever it is that you want to focus on. Weed, you should start a podcast. Nah, O.T.C, the gang, they've got a podcast. I'll support that.
Right.
Whatever I need to do to support that, I'll make sure that I support, and so on and so on and so on. So to think and look back at BT has been, I mean, BT is no longer black owned, first and foremost.
No, it's not.
It's not. You know what I mean? Bob Johnson and Sheila walked out the building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was over.
Yeah.
So either way, what I'm saying is, again, let's not look to these outlets and say, because we don't look to one rapper. And this is, when things mature, when we mature and things mature and we expect things to mature, we then approach things in that fashion and say, you know what, that's missing. Because that's why we started the Brooklyn Circus. I was like, yo, there's that store and this store, but they're not speaking to me. Let me create this. Instead of saying like, yo, man, you guys should bring in this brand and that brand. I was like, nah, I'm going to do that. So I think we need to look at things in that way.
So, Bar, you got to create it. You got to create the media company.
Make that lane, boy.
Create it.
Start
it
right
now.
Yeah.
Start a division. I mean, even with what you guys are doing now, say, you know what, we're going to do a sports segment. And bang, focus on that and build it from. Because if you expect, that's not what they do.
Yeah.
And we put too much pressure on, even Nipsey. Nipsey dies and everybody's like, yo, Nipsey.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what happens? It's the same thing that happened to Malcolm, to Martin, MLK, and all these guys. Like, okay, the movement stops and it ends with these guys because we're worshiping these individuals. No, there's just so much more room. And when we say it doesn't exist, when you think about the businesses and all, it does exist. Nadia Lopez in Bronzeville, she's done some amazing things with kids in the community. I mean, there are tons of folks that are out there, So let's shout the folks that are still living.
For sure.
Yes.
I guess like, I think that his point is just that we don't know, like, even The woman that you just named, Ms. Lopez. Nadia Lopez, you just said?
Nadia Lopez.
Nadia Lopez, like.
Mott Hall Bridges Academy.
Okay.
Out of Brownsville.
Nice.
She said she opened up a school to close a prison.
She opened up a school?
Absolutely.
To close a prison.
That's beautiful.
Realized right in Brownsville. She's doing some really dope shit.
And I always said that too, like education is the root of like a lot.
Oh, it's an
yes.
equalizer.
Yeah.
Equalizer,
Yeah.
for sure.
Education is the root of a lot.
For sure.
But I think like, you know, like it's great to have something to like shine light on that. Because even like, and I guess I get where Jabari's coming from, because I understand creating it
Sure.
completely. But like I would want to see like something like that. You know, like just like, yo,
Make it.
huh? No, for sure. I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Created her show. Yeah. You know what I mean?
True.
I mean, you think about it.
She started on YouTube.
Yeah,
she started on YouTube.
The resources are there.
Yeah.
You know, the resources are there.
She didn't see it, so she created
it.
I agree.
Boom.
I hear you.
You know,
Well, there you go, Barry. That's it.
Shonda
That's
Rhimes.
it, right?
I mean, we can. I mean,
Get
it's
it together,
It's not
B.
easy now.
No,
For sure not.
easy.
Not even something like that. Like
Yeah.
what you're
I
talking
don't
about.
even know where to begin.
You
feel me?
You probably got to do
Right
research.
now. You just started. You started by mentioning it to you, and in the room, you said it out loud.
Right.
True.
So you already started.
Right.
You already started. You said it out loud. Now you're saying it on on the airwaves.
Yes,
I mean,
everybody,
someone's
yeah.
gonna hear it. You already started.
Right.
Sometimes we think it's like and shout out to Yadon from the Literary Swag Club that we host every last Wednesday inside the Brooklyn Circus. And he said, you're like, we're going to build a platform. He's like, no, the platform is built.
Yeah.
We're going to build this platform. No, the platform is built. The Brooklyn Circus has been around for 13 years. The platform is there. Utilize what we have and what's in front of us. The platform is there. And I was like, oh, shit. Dug in, I realized we had so much that we've done, so many resources, and so boom, the platform is built. We're gonna expand on the platform, media platform, to address,
I can't wait for that. That's dope.
Yeah.
So
That's
dope.
dope. I seen you recently did something with the Brooklyn Nets with D'Angelo Russell.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was cool. That was cool. It was one day in the life.
That's
that was a one day thing.
Yeah.
Lots of emails back and forth. That was cool.
Wow, I was like, oh, he about to get out of here now. He about to blow down.
It's another day. It's another day. There's just so much work to be done.
For sure.
We'd have to do 1,000 of those to be out of here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we got 999 more to go. So
So what keep you going? Like, was it ever a point where you just was like, I'm just going to throw the towel in. I'm not doing this no more. It's not going the way I want. What kept you pushing and keep going?
So that was last week.
Oh.
And as always, I get disappointed for sure. Cat's not. When people don't understand the that it takes a lot of work and that it's a team effort. It's a vision. You just have to push and pray and believe in the power of the subconscious mind and know that when you start to drift towards the negative, you have to push yourself back and drift back into the positive. Or when you guys walk into the space and I see you guys at the event, I'm like, we're doing something right.
Right.
And it's that, but absolutely I've had times where I'm like, you know what, and I had a meeting the other day with a group of folks, group of creatives, and the question that I asked was like, if you had unlimited resources and money, what would you do? I would travel and collect art. I'm a big fan of art. I love art. I love the culture of art. I'd love to change that. But for the most part, that's what I would do. So what keeps me going is to know that there's someone behind me that's watching. If the 75,000 people that are following us on Instagram are not all bots, you know what I mean? If there's 100 that are real people, then there's 100 people that are watching and looking for inspiration. Have we inspired them yet? Maybe not, But to know that, again, which is what you were saying, it's we need more of us out there. But quitting, yeah, of course you think of quitting. It's like being in the gym.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, you're like, let me snooze and get it 5, 6, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 more minutes of sleep. But that, the work that you've done, was necessary. And so the work that you need to do is even more necessary because it's not yet over.
Yeah.
So, but quitting is, you think about quitting. You just don't quit. The difference between a quitter and someone that ultimately wins is that, you don't fold to quitting. But quitting is for sure.
Yeah. I know that personally.
You hear that?
Just don't quit.
It's
Never
such
give
a
up.
battle in my head, man.
Never give up. Never give in. Shout out to Ruben Spitz. May he rest in peace and power. You know, he's a Holocaust survivor, for sure. Hat maker, one of the last ones in America. And his, he survived the Holocaust. You know, and came here to America to build a $20, $30 million business. But his whole thing was never give up, never give in.
Yeah.
Never give up, never give in.
It's so hard. I think creatives like suffer with that the most. Like creators, like they like, I guess it's like a lot of doubt in their heads if this is gonna go well.
And I think it's because we don't know how to put value into the work that we do.
Okay.
We allow other people to put value on it. So, but when you shift that energy and start to put value and say, you know what, my time is worth this.
Right.
My work is worth this. My opinion is worth that. When you start to put these numbers or you start to put value, into what you do and what you represent, then it gets a lot easier. Doesn't get easy. It just gets a little bit easier, actually. Not a lot easier. It just gets a little bit easier because you didn't know that, hey, if I'm here, this is what it's worth. And so me being in this room, I'm paying for it. I'm paying it back to you guys for showing up. And adding that extra special, sauce to what the BK Love experience is. When I see you guys in the room, I'm like, all right, cool, that works. So now I have to pay it back. And I know the value of that, and I know the value of my time.
Yeah.
Because if another, radio station or podcast said, hey, we want you to do this, would I cancel you guys for it? Nah, I understand the value of what you guys bring to the space and to the culture. And so I now come back to pay it.
Oh, we appreciate that. You dropping gems in here today, man.
No, for sure. I think a lot of people.
I went to like 3 epiphanies.
A lot of people want to like take this in and like start to realize fuck it. If I don't see it, let me do it. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the key lessons too in this whole conversation, that things are going to be hard, things not going to be easy, and just like if I don't see something that's not out, let me create it. Same thing with
the change you want in this world.
Oh,
Exactly.
Absolutely. Create it, invent it, think as inventors, we need to shape culture by inventing more things. And invention, being an inventor, is a very lonely place. It's a very lonely place. Einstein lived in, this lonely space. You know what I mean? So, Van Gogh lived in a very lonely space. Basquiat lived in a very lonely. It's tough. Yeah. But, it's the work that we do and what we contribute to society. So invent more and drive. If it's not hard, then it's just, it sounds cliche, but there are very little gains from that.
Yeah. So you're from New York, or you was born in Haiti?
I was born in Haiti.
Born in
Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Nice. Okay. And then you moved.
I moved to this province of Haiti called Flatbush. Province, called Flatbush.
Yeah, I live in Flatbush right now. Yeah.
I moved to this little province, Port-au-Prince called Flatbush. And it was a big culture shock. Big shift, big change, weather, just everything.
How old were you when you moved?
I was 8.
8.
Yeah, I was 8. We stayed for a year. My oldest sister didn't like it, and so we moved back to Haiti.
Oh wow!
For a year, went back to school, and in the year that I came, I learned to speak English, and so I went back to school. But I went back to a French school. My sister went to an American school, but then we came back we came back the following year. So 1 year here, a year back in Haiti, and then Mom was like, "Nah, this can't work. We got to get you guys back to New York." So I came back and decided, okay, I'm gonna figure out how to balance this Haitian American thing.
Yeah. How did you deal with the the I don't know how to say it, probably the stigma.
Say it.
The stigma,
it,
because a
Haitian
lot of
booty scratching,
right? All that stuff.
I heard a lot of that growing up.
All that.
If you had
stuff.
an accent, they automatically assumed that you was some. Yeah,
you know that.
Yeah, all that stuff.
You dealt with it.
Yeah,
you dealt with it. Some of it you dealt with it, head on, and some of it we dealt with as cowards. We hid from it, like, yo, you Haitian?
Nah.
Yeah.
What are you?
Right.
I heard your mom's call you.
It's highly sad though. It's highly sad because
it's society.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Haitians have such a bad stigma, like the voodoo or the they smell or it's just like
whatever
ignorant shit.
That's all 80s shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wyclef, because I think Wyclef cracked the code and got folks to be like, oh, yo, you Haitian? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, all right. I like the Fugees.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lauren. Right. Because they all came together and created this dope band.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The rap group.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. I mean, again, we some of us, I curled it at times. Folks like, yeah, where you from? You know?
Yeah.
And so, but for sure, I mean, I think Wyclef cracked the code for us.
Okay.
You know, in the 80s and 90s, or 90s more so when he, you know, he stood up. He's like, yo, I'm Haitian. This is what it is. I'm Haitian American. And he represented both.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, we faced it. We dealt with it. We walked down the street, and it was hard. I mean, I lived in Crown Heights at the time. What was good about Crown Heights, so I had it a little bit easier because I went to a bilingual school. And my school was half Haitian, you know, 3/4 Haitian, and the other half was the other quarter was Spanish. And the school, the bilingual center in East New York, in Bronzeville, was designed to welcome kids like myself who didn't speak English or were from a bilingual background, to transition them into society. And they also prepared those kids to go to either private schools or specialized high schools.
Okay.
So education was important.
Brooklyn Tech.
Brooklyn Tech, exactly. So so that was a little easier because when we were in school, all the teachers, all the role models were Haitian.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Haitian and Spanish. You know,
that's dope.
And in my neighborhood in Crown Heights, it was Haitian, Panamanian, and Jamaicans.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a little easier. But yeah, there were times where folks like, yo, you Haitian? Like, yo, man, I heard you Haitian. Like, yeah.
Right.
It was hard. It was hard in the 80s and 90s, but we dealt with it. And I mean, that's the fun. But now I don't think there's a stigma.
No, not at all. Not at
It's
all.
just growing up.
passe.
Yeah.
It was definitely growing up, and it's just like you get like Haiti gets such a bad rep, but like they're the ones that won, I guess. Oh, like revolted.
Sure.
And then-
Haiti is the hip hop of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Haiti
Exactly.
is the hip hop, the rappers of the world. You know, the guys that come in and they're like, yo, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. They might sag their pants. They might wear their beards and locks and come in and like, yo, what up? Da, da. But, you know, it's I call it. So Haitians are the rappers of the world, you know. So rap gets a bad rap.
Right.
So Haiti gets a bad rap. And voodoo gets a bad rap because they don't understand it. The same way the do-rag got a bad rap. And that's why we made a do-rag in the collection, the initial collection. Because for me, it was this thing, you know, and made my mother, may she rest in power as well, like for her to think that, you know, her son, who she took to America to become this scholar, you know, became a designer and he's designing do-rags, like, oh, she's turning in her grave. But, you know, that was the power of taking control of things that were used against us. And so, and that's the same thing with voodoo. You know, voodoo's a religion. It's a way of life. It's, you know, it's if you believe something can do bad, it will do bad because that's your belief. And if you believe something can do good, then it will do good. And so voodoo, Santeria, and all these other things that are, of course, you know, native to our culture is negative.
Right.
Christianity's not.
Right. It's and that's the beauty of the BK Love experience, because like every time we leave from there, we take something with us, like something to enlighten us. Like that's what
Aye, Bobo.
Yeah. Yo, after we came from that show, we was doing that on the podcast for like weeks.
It's the greatest shit ever.
I even taught my nephew, so even when my nephew approached me, he'd be like, "Aye, Bobo." Like, even we like, it's just like a thing because
true, though. It's true.
I learned so much from that, and like each experience when I come, I learned something. So it's like even when I learned about voodoo and things like that, and it's made so much sense to me because I'm like, why is that bad stigma on it? It's what you believe. If you think something negative is going to come out of something. So that's what I love, too, about coming to the BK Circus. Like, it's always experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we definitely use that
for sure. Yeah, I would say I did not know. And I guess it comes from my ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't do the research.
Right.
I heard and then just took it as that. Yeah, as most people, I guess. You know, like you just got to do the research. So like after like, you know, we had that experience at Brooklyn Circus, I came home, I did my research, I was like, I feel like a total fool.
Right.
I feel like a total fool because even in school they teach about a lot of different religions: Shintoism, Buddhism, you know, all those type of. They never say like voodoo or no, they never speak about our like you know like our religion
with reason.
Of course,
that's the control. That's the power and the control
for sure.
And that's why I always tell cats research. Anyone that works with us, anyone that they'll tell you. All the Brooklyn Circus alums, I tell them. They'll tell you, Ouija, he loves to research. He lives around books. He's always researching. If he's online, you have to research because the information is not in front of you. It's never in front of you.
Never.
The information is brought to you by a sponsor.
Yeah.
And the sponsor has to make sure that it reflects their their interest.
Right.
You know, so research, and do some more research, and you'll come to realize that everything that we do is looked upon a certain way, thick lips,
Yeah.
I mean, I was growing up, dude was like, yo, you got some bubble lips, man.
Same.
Yo, you bubble lips. And like,
Same.
oh, man, that's horrible. And now it's like,
it's glorified
it's
now.
glorified. Big butts, and hips. And
Yeah.
So research. The more research you do, the more empowered you are. And then find ways to now, bring it to the public and welcome people into that. And my responsibility as the Brooklyn Circus is to create this environment where we welcome people into the culture, welcome people, into Brooklyn to know. Because, when I was in college, you showed up, they're like, yo, you look like you from Brooklyn. You from Brooklyn? Like, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. They're like, word, yo, where you live? Must be real dangerous. It's crazy, right? How'd you make it this far?
That's
like,
dude, it's a stigma.
Come to my neighborhood. Yeah, it's all
Right.
a stigma.
Yeah.
And it's the unknown. It's the same thing with Haiti. And I invite folks to come down to Haiti to experience Haiti. Lisa lives in Haiti, and she's out there. So it's just, it's all. I mean, and what happens here in America, also happens in Haiti, and so on and so forth. There's danger here, there's danger there, and there are good, loving people, and there's sun, and there are beaches, and there are, dope ass things happening in Haiti. So I always welcome people to come, but experience it for yourself and do the research.
And the food is really good too.
Yes,
Black rice, pickles, Creole, all that.
All that. Yeah. For sure.
Chewy John. Hi, my boy. Yes, indeed.
What is so? All right, just real quick. So it's sapase, and then what is the return response?
Sac passé, not boule.
Nabule.
Or you can say en forme. Sac passé is what up?
Yeah.
That's
Ma
sapase.
boule. Ma boule means like I'm burning. So it's kind of, the sun, ma boule, I'm sitting under the sun. That's the root of ma boule.
Oh.
Yeah. Ma boule. But you just say, yeah, en forme. En forme. It's even cooler, En forme.
Gotcha.
En forme is also French.
Okay, got you.
En forme means in shape, I guess. But, yeah, en forme.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay, that's dope.
You
That's
got
dope.
a new one.
Now,
You got
I don't
new
know.
one.
Now I got it.
yeah, we gotta, we gotta study and stuff
You
like
gotta
that.
study.
Yeah,
We
we gotta
gotta
brush
study.
up. We gotta brush up.
We gotta study. So we touched, I think, on everything on culture, music, and stuff like that. I mean, not music, fashion. You listen to music? I know you do.
I was just about to ask.
Like, what's your
what's on your playlist?
Playlist. I'm a big reggae fan.
Okay.
Okay.
Huge reggae fan. I love reggae music. I played reggae music coming up. So my professional career is playing music, DJing, into the nightlife. I promoted concerts in music venues.
wow.
Okay,
And
that's
from that, I retired from that and went into the clothing business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we had a thing called Ramsey Racing. We were promoting events, and then before that, I had King Ramsey, which is a sound system playing reggae music. Still playing reggae music. Love reggae music. I don't play much myself, but the sound still plays. But I love reggae music. I love compa. Compa is Haitian music.
Okay, Haitian music.
I
Okay.
love Haitian compa. I love Afrobeat.
Love
I
Afrobeat.
love Afrobeat.
New fave.
Of course, early Afrobeat, Fela. I'm more in love with that, than the new stuff. The new stuff is super dope.
Yeah.
But for sure, I love Afrobeat, and I love hip hop. Hip hop. I was introduced to hip hop by a cousin of mine in the 7th grade. I was listening to so much Shaba and Ninja Man. He's like, yo, you should listen to hip hop, man. I'm like, word. Yeah, I know about that. He's like, yeah, you should listen to that. I'm like, okay. So he introduced me to Rakim. And then from there on, it was just like,
That was it.
it was on.
Love
It
Rakim
was
too.
on. But I love hip hop. On my playlist, it's everything, man.
Yeah.
But it's a mix of all,
Who you like that's new right now?
New right now that I
Or,
like.
it's not necessarily
the
new.
new ones, right?
I mean, Kendrick. Kendrick's not new.
Yeah,
I like
but
Kendrick.
you like
I like
Kendrick.
J. Cole. Who else am I listening to? I love Little Yachty.
You like
Yeah.
Lil Yachty?
I like Lil Yachty.
All right.
Wow.
I like
How
Lil
come?
Yachty. How come? Why not? He's dope.
I'm curious to know.
You're curious. I like his flow. I love his style. I love, what he represents.
Okay.
I
Cool.
listen to a little bit of Migos.
Hell yeah.
Dance to that. Little Drake. Drake is like the Ja Rule of our time.
Yeah, Drake is just everything.
I love Drake.
Drake is Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Who else am I listening to? SZA. Listen to some of that for sure.
If you're gonna name her girls now,
Oh, is that right? Is that right?
SZA,
I was waiting for the list. I was waiting for the list.
Badu.
all day.
Lauren,
and you saw Lauren at the store, right? The Brooklyn Circus.
Don't talk about it.
They'll talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
I was a little sad, I guess.
Why?
'Cause I really wanted a picture with her. Like, when I say I love, like, everybody knows, like, Erica and Lauren
on the
is, like, what
podcast.
shaped me.
Everybody listens
So
to
me
podcasts.
being that close to her, like, my heart was racing. I was like, oh, my God, it's my moment. And then it was just over just like that. And I was like, what the
But I warned you.
I was this close. Yeah. But then I didn't want to be that person just like bombard her. So I was just like, I tried to get eye contact. It didn't happen. I was like, oh, my moment passed.
She was cool, man. Quite a
Yeah.
few people did catch the selfies in the room.
I was like, my moment passed.
caught- they
man.
caught
I didn't
it.
know how to approach it. I didn't want to come off too like rah rah rah.
Listen,
but
man, just be honest, be straightforward. I'm a huge fan.
yes,
Do you
that's
mind a
everything.
selfie? Practice that line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I'm a huge fan.
I'm gonna practice for Erica.
Do you mind a selfie?
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna practice for
She-
Erica. I
I
just
know
feel in
she
my
want-
bones. I'm gonna meet Erica this year. So
Yeah,
I'm
she
just,
feel like she gonna meet Erica
I'm
Badu.
putting it out
this
into the
year.
universe.
Oh yeah. That's gonna
So I'm
happen.
gonna meet my mother. soon.
That's gonna happen.
Mother
We might make
Badu.
it at my-
Right.
Do you have a top 5 MCs of all time?
Ooh.
Oh, they love this top 5
what's the
conversation.
list?
They love it.
It's only right if you love hip hop. You
It's
gotta
only
like.
right.
Ooh.
What's the top 5?
Greatest of all time. Jay-Z for sure.
Okay.
Wait, is this in the
Jay-Z.
order or you just throwing it out there?
Numero uno.
Oh.
Numero uno.
Okay.
No, you have to put
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z number one.
Jay-Z
Jay's
is
number
great.
one.
Okay.
You have to.
Jay is number one.
All right.
I mean, it's oh, come on, man. I'm Jay-Z, Biggie, and Pac. I mean, Pac is sick.
Right.
Jay-Z for sure for me. Let me think. I mean, I'm a Nas.
I love Nas.
I love Nas.
My top 5
But
too.
top 5, Jay for sure.
Of course.
Jay. I mean, with bar none.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Yeah. And I think Jay-Z, because not only that he can rap really well, it's like what he does behind the scenes.
Jay.
Like for hip hop in general.
Yeah, that's why he's the greatest.
He's the greatest.
Yeah.
Like he saved Lil Uzi Vert just recently from a bad contract. You know what I'm saying?
Like, did he really? Is that what happened?
No, for real.
Yeah.
Because Lil Uzi Vert, that's why he was about to retire from music because he didn't. I guess he didn't have creative control. I guess in his on his label and stuff.
Jay's
Jay-Z took
doing a lot, man.
Jay-Z does a lot for the
He's
clothes.
he's like hip-hop's hero, bro.
Right.
Nah,
Like
like
he's just
that is.
out here.
He's out here.
Yeah,
He's out here.
There's a lot of people that I guess you got KRS-One and those guys that like put like hip hop on that forefront, but Jay-Z is like
He took it somewhere
it's
else.
like lifting it up. It's
like Jordan.
savior.
So what about you? So what's top 5 for you? I said Jay number 1. I'm gonna save the other 4 slots. I want to hear what you guys are saying first to jog my memory a little bit.
Jay, Kanye is my favorite of all time.
Of
Yeah,
course.
is good. I'd put Ye at number 4.
Okay.
4,
I'd put Ye at number 4.
That's solid.
Jay.
Or number 3.
Ye.
Ye's doing this. Yeah, who else?
Kendrick is in my top 5 already.
Kendrick.
Oh, he's in the top 5 now.
Kendrick's in my
Kendrick's a
top.
beast.
Kendrick's in my top 5 already.
Oh, he is.
No, he is.
Because he's gonna be there
But I
eventually.
can't remember you saying that before.
I don't know if I did, but he's gonna be there, so I'm gonna just put him in
About
there
to
now.
put
You
him
know
in
what I'm
Kendrick
saying?
is a beast.
OD.
Man. I mean, what he does
Ridiculous.
with the words,
Nice.
visually.
Yeah.
I mean, you.
It's
I mean,
nasty.
Kendrick.
It's ridiculous.
He's a beast.
He's
All
one
right,
of-
let me hear what else.
I used to have M. in there.
No, man.
I be trying to
with all
tell
due
this
respect.
guy. I be trying to
I mean,
tell
it's
this
just
guy.
the stuff doesn't connect.
It
The
doesn't.
Stuff doesn't connect.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like, when's the last? It just doesn't connect.
yeah,
It's for like white. It's like white people.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's for that crowd.
It's for that crowd.
He's for a certain demographic.
In my
for
opinion,
sure.
you know, he's ill lyrically.
No,
That
like
is
he can
ill.
rap like really well.
And that's why I had him there, just for like his
Just
like
the way he
ability to
rap.
rap.
Yes.
It's like almost unmatched. But like,
But there has to be, you know, because when you think about greatest of all time, or when you think about top 5, you know, and we say Biggie, but Biggie didn't do enough. Biggie didn't produce enough music, and I was around when these albums were dropping.
Right.
you know,
Right.
But you know, when you think about it, it's probably 20 years now. You know, you think about what Biggie. What happened after Biggie? I mean, I don't think we can still keep Biggie up there. That's unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair.
you feel the same way for Pac too?
Well,
Pac had more music. Pac had a lot of music.
Pac had a lot more music.
Pac did have a lot of
But was it
music, yeah.
really good music though?
I mean,
he had some trash.
He had some tracks.
but trash.
Oh, he had some trash.
He had some trash.
Oh.
Right.
But Pac for sure. Pac is, you know, what I love about Pac is the contradiction.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The contradiction of him, you know, Brenda's got a baby, and then, you know, I get around.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Pac was a fighter. I mean, his mom is a Panther. I mean, when you
Yeah.
think about Pac was a fighter. Pac represented what hip hop represents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I look at, Ye for the last couple of years, Ye really pushed himself to do that and become a freedom fighter. Now I think he's sleeping, you know, and he went into the commercial side of things, and he's dancing with that. But there's also the contradiction, and that's what hip hop does. Hip hop is a beautiful contradiction, and it's life. Life is a contradiction. So I say I don't think it's fair to put Biggie in there, but Pac for sure had enough content, in my opinion, and still does.
Okay.
Who else? Who do you got?
I don't know. Like, we can't throw groups in the top 5, right?
We can talk.
You can do it. You
I
want
mean,
to throw
we
Tribe?
gonna
You want to throw Tribe?
I was going to have to throw Tribe. What?
I don't know.
What you mean?
No. Tribe. I mean, shout out.
Tribe's the best hip hop group of all time.
Best hip hop group?
I think so.
I think so.
That might be another conversation. Then.
Sure.
No, for sure.
We have to talk about groups.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I love
Best hip hop group? Whew.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
You got De La Soul. You got Fugees.
Fugees the best hip hop group. Roots and Fugees. I wouldn't say Tribe. I mean, if we had,
I give you the Roots.
Roots.
I put the Roots in there.
I give you the Roots and Tribe. I give you the Roots and Tribe.
Roots.
I don't know if I can put Fugees there. I'm not sold on it.
I'm gonna have to put.
I know you love Lauren, right?
They're not number one, but Roots. I mean, I wouldn't say Fugees number one, but Fugees. When you think about what Fugees did,
I think they did a lot. 100%. I agree.
Greatest female rapper of all time.
Talk about it.
Lauryn Hill.
Talk about it.
Missy Elliott.
Talk about it.
Of all time.
Of all time. Where we're going all over the place, but that's good.
So where will Wu-Tang play in this?
Ooh.
Nah, I don't know about that.
See, they think I don't be knowing what I be knowing.
Nah.
Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang. That's a clan.
No. Wu-Tang's top 5.
Yes.
But if you want to talk about
you
next
would put
to
De La
Tribe,
Soul and Tribe before Wu-Tang?
no, I would have put De La Soul before
thank
Wu-Tang.
you very
I
much.
would put De
Now
La
we're
Soul
talking.
before. But I'll put it's definitely Tribe.
I feel like you could have the same conversation with Wu-Tang like you could have with Biggie, though. Wu-Tang only has one historically great album,
100%.
But the music and what the music.
They have a lot of
for the
content, though.
culture.
They have a lot more content.
For sure.
And what they represented for the culture, 100%. You have to put them there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely.
So go back into, so he said Jay.
He said
Kanye. Jay and Kanye. We all agree.
Yay.
Kendrick. You said
Kendrick.
We all agree.
So you got
Kendrick.
2 more.
2 more. It's tough. I don't know. Like I could put Cole in my top 5 as well.
I believe Cole. I believe Cole deserves a spot.
Cole. I think Cole has a lot more to do.
100%. I agree.
A lot more to do. So I don't think we can put him there. Cole is still a sophomore in college right now.
I think this might be his year.
Graduate and PhD.
This is year.
Because he's coming. He has a great mentor.
Yeah.
With Jay as a mentor,
sure.
I think J. Cole is dope.
He's gonna be. Yeah, he's gonna be great.
He's worn lots of Brooklyn Circus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I didn't know that.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Jackets and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
J.
bet.
Cole.
It's lit out here.
Yeah.
Who else?
DMX.
Nah, that's
I love
yours.
I
That's
love
yours.
X.
That's yours.
I love X.
That's yours.
I believe
DMX is in my top 10.
X deserve a spot in the top
DMX
5.
did a lot for the culture.
Oh, 100%.
He belong in the top 5, not top 10.
Not top 5. Not top 5.
Not top 5.
Not top 5.
Darkman X. Earl Simmons don't deserve a spot.
Earl Simmons. Like I should go into his name.
He's not
Earl Simmons.
Not top.
Nah, he's not
That's
top
my
five.
guy. He's in my top.
Nah,
He could be in your
He's
top.
still alive and he's still not pushing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
X is just he's dormant.
Yeah.
He's still not top 5.
Yeah.
Go.
Nas.
Nas for sure.
Yeah, Nas.
For sure.
That's a clean top.
That's
I think Nas. Yeah.
So your top is
Jay, Ye, Kendrick, Cole in mine.
Yeah.
And Nas.
And Nas.
Facts.
I'm not mad at
Let's
it.
put an alternate for Cole, man.
I put a little asterisk next to Cole's name.
I'm not mad at
Take him out.
it. I'm not mad at it.
But for right now, I think that's how I feel good about that.
who's yours?
I would say Jay, of course. Obviously, Kanye West is my favorite artist of all time, so I'm gonna have to put him up there. This is my favorite top 5, right? This is what we're saying, right?
For
Cool.
sure.
Then I might put. There's not no order after this. I'll probably put. I definitely agree with Kendrick, and I agree with Nas for sure. I would definitely put Rakim there too.
Okay.
Not enough. I think it's terrible. Not enough.
Rakim to me,
Rakim is sick though.
I think he started. Because after, I feel like after Rakim is when real hip hop came. Honestly, like it's different from I guess what the disco side of hip hop was around, and then when Rakim came on scene with straight bars and straight aggressiveness, that's when it changed. That's when the Jada Kiss, all the Locks, all the
Jada slept on.
Oh, that's
no.
yeah,
Jada's
that's
not
another
slept.
group right there.
It's like it's either Jadakiss, Rakim to me. Because Jadakiss is my top 10.
Jadakiss
is my top 10.
Jada's
And he's super slept on. And I guess because he hasn't been releasing like a lot of projects and stuff like that or whatever. He's not in the media and stuff like that. But to me, Rakim started that real hip-hop bars thing.
Female rappers. You got to give some women some.
Oh, for sure.
Missy Elliott.
For female rappers, you want to say
Lauren.
top 5?
Lauren.
She's
Missy.
number 1. Yup.
Nah, to me, Rhapsody is the best.
Oh,
female.
Rhapsody.
She's
She's the best female hip hop artist I've ever heard.
You serious?
I'm 100% sure.
Oh wow.
I'm 100%.
She's
I'm
super dope.
I'm 100.
Nah,
I love Lauren.
Better than Lauren?
I don't know. I think you might be
Lauren?
biased. You might be biased.
Nah, I might be biased. Right? She showed up. Nah, Lauren.
What you think, Barry?
And Missy Elliott?
I think Rhapsody raps better than Lauryn Hill.
Oh, 100%.
Missy?
Nah, yeah,
Missy Elliott can rap her ass off too.
Yeah.
Missy?
No, she's better than Rhapsody. Rhapsody's better than Missy.
Rhapsody.
Missy makes great music.
Missy. Right. She's a writer.
Yes.
Missy is what?
Right.
Yeah. So Rhapsody, who else? We said
Rhapsody, Lauren, and
we said Missy, Rhapsody, Lauren.
Missy.
Light.
Queen Latifah.
I would say Queen Latifah. I agree with that.
I give it to Queen.
I agree with Queen Latifah.
I wouldn't really give it to MC. Like, she probably in the 10, but she not in the 5. I give it to Queen before I give it to
I give it to Queen. I give it to Queen.
Light.
How about maybe Kim or Nicki?
Ooh.
I mean,
I'd say Nicki.
I take Nicki.
I'd say Nicki before Kim.
Yeah.
I take Nicki.
Yeah.
I love Lil' Kim aggressiveness.
No, I love I love Little Kim.
Like Foxy.
90s.
Like Foxy got bars. Bars.
Yeah.
Foxy got bars.
But I feel like Nicki have so much potential. It's just she just doing corny shit now, but I feel like she have so much potential. Like, that girl is talented.
Nicki doesn't know her value.
Yes,
Right.
that's the thing. Like, cause and then she
know
let
her
other
value.
people validate who she is when she already had that spot. Like, you don't have to let no young
Nicki
ones come
doesn't
under you
know
and
her
threaten you like that.
value.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Cause
And
that
that's
girl
what I'm
got
saying.
bars. Even before the
Lil' Kim didn't know her
mix-
value either.
Nope.
Didn't know
That's
her
why she
value.
changed herself.
Oh,
You
Lord.
can't even recognize who
It's painful to look at her now.
for shorty. For-
And she was so beautiful. Like, the thing is, like, what
Yeah,
did
I'm
you
at that.
do?
yeah. Like
So,
it's disgusting.
She had
I agree
talent
with that,
and
Nicki,
beauty.
though.
Like, she already had it. I
Bars.
definitely give it to Nicki.
I agree.
From
with,
Nicki mixtapes and everything, I'm definitely giving
See,
it
when
to
Nicki mixtape, I feel like that's what it is. Or with these artists, I feel like when they lose their hunger, the music changes.
I mean, I don't know if she lost her hunger. I think she again didn't realize her value. You have a position in history. You have a position in hip hop. You know, and it's a tough thing because again, and that's the difficulty of when you make it or you reach a certain point. And for the Brooklyn Circus, we kind of went through a period of like where we didn't understand our value. And it took younger cats to come and say, "Yo, dude, I've been wearing this stuff since high school. Yo, I was buying this stuff. I had my dad. This is the only store or the only blog that my dad allowed me to read. This is the place that me and my dad came to shop at. This is and we realized we were like, word. And this is so again, understanding your value and sticking to that is so important.
100%.
It's an interesting place to be in because in the beginning it's like, when you say, hey, this is what it's worth, and people might walk away from it.
Yeah.
I'm sure people walked away from LV belts when they were like, how much are the belts?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. They'd be like, yes, sir, that's the price. Thank you very much. Walk out. So it's the same thing. When you tell someone like, yo, this is what this is worth,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Our varsity jackets, some of the jackets are at $550, and that's the price.
Yeah.
Versus like, yo, can I get a deal? You are getting a deal.
You're getting a jacket.
You are getting a deal.
Right.
You're getting this jacket lifetime.
Don't you hate that though?
I don't hate it. I mean, it's the culture. I mean, and we early on in the brand and the history of the Brooklyn Circus, we made it a point for folks to understand that. Listen, sometimes people would walk in and be like, yo, what's the damage? There is no damage. The investment is $480.
Right.
It's an investment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we buy our jackets back and we do this and so on. So it's understanding the value and sticking to it. And even being on the corner of Bergen and Nevins, in the beginning, it was like, when we get all the money in the world or when we get this money, we're moving to Soho. And then we got the money and we were like, nah, dog, we're staying right here.
Love.
And it's to understand your value and stick to it, and I think we were talking about Nicki. I think she sort of lost that, didn't understand her value, her place in the history of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And so when new rappers, when Cardi came about, you felt like you have to chase Cardi. No, that's a freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has to chase you.
To a senior,
you're a senior.
She didn't understand.
Nikki, you're a senior. Leave Cardi alone. Let her be. Mentor her if anything.
Hurt my heart, bro.
Right.
Hurt my heart. Like to see that, like especially in the culture, and you don't see too much female rappers are together as much, and so it hurt my heart to like just even like for them to just go through all that. Not back and forth. It was nasty.
That was the first time throughout Nicki's whole career that somebody like legitimately like threatened the throne.
Oh no, for sure. Like she won all the awards on the female thing, but like Cardi just came through and just punched everybody out. Yeah. So, but like she couldn't take that. She couldn't handle it. That's ego too. Yeah, she couldn't. That's a lot of ego. That's a lot of pride. And it was just nasty to see that in the hip hop game, especially like with that.
But it's not even only that too. It's like the way hip hop and the way the culture, people love to see competition. So it wasn't like a healthy competition for her because people kept putting her up against them. So she had to feel like she was fighting for her spot when everybody kept comparing her instead of saying, instead of just being Cardi and her being her. It was like, well, Cardi got this and Nicki, you've been here for this long, you ain't get that. Like that, they did that to that, and it just made it blossom from that.
True.
And it's a long term thing. It's a long play, know. And if you're looking at what Cardi's getting, it's like that's what she's getting now. Like,
right.
What's going to happen? Will Cardi, last the test of time? So it's a long play. Nicki's shown that she lasted, and she's been able to, thrive and survive.
Yeah.
So when someone comes in and comes on the scene, and again, as a brand, as the Brooklyn Circus, we've had to deal with that. They're like, yo, there's a lineup outside of blah, blah, blah. There's this. And why aren't you guys working with this brand and that brand? We're like, yo, it's a long play. The time will come, and they will come to us. They will walk in, and we'll forge the partnerships. So that's important.
I know we're coming up short on time.
Right.
I'm sure we could speak to you all day.
Right.
Pick your brain all day. But we gotta. Unfortunately call it a close. We could shout out social. You could shout out like where they can find you, and I know you. Yeah, like social media and stuff like that, or like the events you got coming up next.
Events coming up next. This coming Friday, the 19th. We are hosting a pop shop with Art Comes First. Art Comes First out of London. Super dope crew of guys. Sam and Shaka out of London.
Nice.
Really dope crew of guys. They make some super dope things. We're hosting a pop shop with them the 19th through the 21st at the Brooklyn Circus. The BKC Love Experience comes back. We have an artist by the name of Luke Kayla and also Madison McFerrin. Yes, serious last name, Bobby McFerrin's daughter. Amazing artist, singer, songwriter at the Brooklyn Circus on the 26th, Friday the 26th of April. All of this is on the Instagram, on the social media platforms. We have, of course, the Literary Swag Book Club every last Wednesday of the month.
I love that. I love that.
I love that. Join.
No, I want to join that too.
Reading. I want to join.
Just show up, become a part of it.
I didn't know you could just show up there. You had to sign.
Show up.
Okay.
You can just show up. You can just show up.
What days are it?
It's every last Wednesday of the month.
Every last Wednesday of the month.
BKC Love Experience is every last Wednesday of the month except this month. It's on a Friday. It's the 26th. We are, of course, continuing our mass incarceration, the exploration of that. We're dropping a third collection. We just dropped a new Moto Varsity, highly
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Black on black Moto. Instagram is fucking with the algorithms and shit. But just for sure, that's been going well. We dropped it yesterday, and it's been going well. But yeah, that's. I mean, if I had my book on me, I'd read you all the dates. But we have a full calendar of events. Join the mailing list. The bkcircus.com. Sure. The Instagram is at the BK Circus. T is in Tom, H is in Harry, E is in Ever. BK Brooklyn Circus, the BK Circus. And stop by the store, man. We're open every day except Mondays. By appointment only on Mondays. But yeah, stop by the store. 150 Nevins, the Brooklyn Circus.
There we go.
There we go.
100-year plan.
100-year plan. Go ahead, Bar. You shout out your socials.
Follow me on Instagram at jsaints_.
And if you want to follow me on my journey to finding
No, what happened to vibrate on a higher level? Go ahead, stay consistent because people inside here, so she getting nervous.
She getting a little shy.
She getting a little nervous.
I just love how y'all interrupt me every week.
Because you don't stay consistent.
Do it.
So y'all just let me just.
We love when you do that. If you want to vibrate on a higher level, yeah, go ahead.
Here we go.
Let's close our eyes. We'll close our eyes for you.
If you want to vibrate with me on a higher level and follow me on my journey to finding true self, you can follow me at crown__Taj.
Lovely. See, there we go. Follow us all at O.T.C podcast _ and then also follow me at JD the Opinionated on Instagram, on Twitter, artistic _ JD, and then that's what it is.
YouTube.
Oh yes,
we're on YouTube.
I totally forgot. Oh, the YouTube video should be up by now. Anyway,
of the last episode.
Yeah, for the last episode.
Episode 62.
Yes, episode 62. This is episode 63. We had a great guest here. I hope you guys learned a lot. This will be on YouTube probably by Monday, Tuesday, the latest. But it will be up. You already know what day it is. You know what I mean? Every Sunday at 12 on Dizat.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate you guys for listening. I appreciate you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for
I hope
coming.
it was a good experience.
Yes.
Yeah, it was lit.
We out here. Shout out to HNY Rose. Is that the grab? What's the grab? Is it underscore on it? HNY _Rose. You know, she's holding me down, managing the career out here on a Saturday morning. Lisa, what up? But Ouigi Theodore from the Brooklyn Circus, and thank you for having me, guys.
I thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank
Bart, what music you gonna go out to?
I don't know.
Matt, you should pick.
Facts.
What song you want to go out to?
Outro song.
Some Kendrick. What up?
Oh, some Kendrick. Well, from what album?
Pimp Butterfly.
Oh, I love that. I love that you love Pimp Butterfly too. Because a lot of people don't like that album.
Oh, is that right? You kidding
Yes.
me?
Every time I have a conversation about Kendrick Lamar,
What?
You think that's his best album?
Nah.
Nah?
what?
Nah, I mean,
What?
that's a whole discussion. We had 12:59.
All right, let me get it, man. Damn, I wish we had that conversation. What's your favorite song on there?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to look at the playlist. and
I'll
see.
do it. I'll play Mama. That's my favorite
Mama
song.
too.
I'll play Mama.